Right. Just starting a live. Topic is cultivating mind and energy. What's happening, C-Bones? Much love. Thank you very much for joining in. Alright, so it's been a bit of a time before since I've done a live. Hello everyone. Much love, much love. Thank you very much for joining in so quickly. So I've just started the live, so I'm actually going to share it to the broadcast channel so that people know that I'm live, because this wasn't planned basically, but it was something that I was going to do a reel on, and then I thought, you know what, it's hard to explain in a reel, and it's a topic that comes up a lot with my Qi-Gong classes and lessons. Think about this: I'm going to come to your location. That's cool. Remote viewing is one thing that we sometimes speak about. C-Bones, yeah, very good, my friend. How's it going? Hope you're well, bro. Salona, open mind. Love and light from California, much love. Okay, so I think I've shared it out. So cultivating mind and energy, right? Because a lot of people talk about cultivating energy. Okay, I talk about that. I teach Qi-Gong, right? So, being a Qi-Gong teacher and someone that's, practiced Qi-Gong for over 20 years, and much love, Salona. Waving back at you. So, obviously I've been doing martial arts, I started when I was 7 years old. I'm 46, so what does that make it? A long time, okay? So, but, external martial arts mainly first, but then I started to get into more internal martial arts probably the last 20 years, okay, including Qi-Gong and Tai Chi, but Qi-Gong specifically. But Qi-Gong, okay, a lot of people don't understand, right? With Qi, when we're cultivating Qi energy, it's not just about energy, right? It's about cultivating a right mind state, okay? And this goes actually for anything, okay? So whether you do yoga, whether you try to meditate, okay? People try to meditate, okay? Hi, bro. Hey, King Steph. Thank you very much. How to activate vital energy. Well, Qi-Gong is basically a practice. Again, there's many different forms of Qi-Gong, many different styles. I have my own style, Commotion Qi-Gong, which basically actually involves Qi-Gong, Ni-Gong, and Ni-Dan, because there's different levels to it. So, but everyone would start with Qi-Gong, and then we do more, Ni-Gong would be developing more inner strength, inner power, and more resiliency. And then we go into more inner alchemy, which will be Taoist alchemy is Ni-Dan. So now activating vital energy, it's Qi energy. Main thing most internal arts will try to do, Tai Chi included as well, is develop a lower Dantian, and Qi-Gong as well. So developing a lower Dantian, which is in the lower abdomen, is developing, which is seen in Chinese medicine, as it's connected to the kidneys, which is the source of our life, our Jing and our essence, right? So, we have Jing, Qi, and Shen. Jing being physical essence, but Jing is also something that we need to nourish, okay? So in Qigong, I teach, nourishing Jing with Qi, okay? And also nutrition, food, and, having a good routine, daily routines, sleeping well, eating well, all this kind of stuff matters, right? So before we start doing any energy work, let's get the foundations right, okay? And a lot of people tend to forget about that. Okay, so firstly, cultivating, vital life force energy, well, you can increase your vitality by simply, making some lifestyle changes, right? For someone that depends on where you're at, right? But there's always more you can do, okay? So, where I'm at now isn't where I was at 10 years ago, or 20 years ago even, or even 5 years ago, right? And sometimes there's ups and downs. Okay, but the thing is, you can always cultivate energy. Okay, you can get energy from food and drink. You can get energy from resting more. So there's many different forms of Qi. Okay, we can go as far as in Qi-Gong, there's terrestrial Qi. This is Qi from the earth, right? There's earthly Qi, and then there's heavenly Qi, which is when we go into some Qi-Gong exercises, we then start working with heavenly Qi. And people think, well, what's heavenly Qi? Well, energy from the sun, the moon, the stars, right? Look up, look down and look up, right? Look down, you got Earth, right? Look here, Earth, that's terrestrial, right? Look up, there is energy from the sun, the moon, and the cosmos, okay? What's happening astrologically is affecting what's happening down here, right? As above, so below. So, I talk about hermetic principles come into as well. So, but cultivating Qi, you can always start with the basics, right? But main topic today was really not to focus on cultivating Qi and energy, because that's what I always speak about. And if you're new to me, just check some of my other lives. Come join the Commotion Qi-Gong Mastery Commune. We do classes there every week, live classes. We've done over 100 hours of recording. So I think there's 93 classes I've done since April last year. So best thing to do is practice, okay? But, there's many different forms of cultivating Qi. One technique which I share quite often is just simply standing in a Wu Ji posture, Wu Ji stance, okay, which is a certain stance we're standing in Qigong. You got to get it right, okay? But, but briefly, okay, you want to keep the spine open, head elevated, and generally we say your bones up and flesh down. So your flesh should, your muscles should be like when you're holding your hands out like this, for example, in Zhan Zhuang, which is like standing like a tree exercise. You just basically stand. You can cultivate energy by just standing. And this is a misconception many people have with Qigong, because I see people moving or me moving. The cultivation doesn't actually happen with the movement. The cultivation actually happens through stillness and through quality of the state of mind. Okay, so actually a lot of techniques are static. Okay, so we sit, even sitting position, sit like this. Okay, focus on the lower dantian, focus on breathing, forceful exhalations, deep inhalations, reverse abdominal breathing, many different breathing techniques that I teach, and they all do different things. Okay, one thing that you need to understand, of course, is elimination and of energy and bringing in energy, right? So, in yoga, they call it apana and prana, right? Prana and apana is not the same thing. When we do forceful exhalations, where it's apana, right? That's not, but when we're taking the inhale, that's prana, right? So, you need to understand, the different effects of what inhales do versus exhales, breath retentions, all have different effects, okay? Generally, exhalations, we do forceful exhalations in certain postures. For example, standing in a Wu Ji posture, right? I'm not going to go into the posture exactly, but, spine is erect, knees are a little bit bent, feet a little bit shoulder, like roughly about shoulder width apart, okay? Now, in this stance, most Qigong standing exercises are done from this posture, but this is not just a stance. Okay, it's actually a state of mind. Okay, so when you go into like this stance as a Qigong practitioner, for example, into Wu Ji stance, okay, and your bum shouldn't be sticking out. It should be, it just naturally should just tuck in a little bit, and you don't squat. You just sit. We call it the qua. You sit into the qua, this little triangle area here, right, which you'll get here. You just sit into it. Like if you just unlock your knees and you just naturally drop, you'll be relaxed, okay? And standing like a tree is, we do it in different positions with the hands to the sides, hands here, hands up towards middle dantian as well. But just simply standing there, holding the right state of mind and the right posture, it will cultivate Qi energy. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people struggle with meditation, yoga, Qigong, okay? Not because the exercises are hard, because their mind wanders, right? This is a good thing about Qigong and I suppose yoga as well, because you're doing something. It's a bit more dynamic, right? So, even if you're standing like a tree, you're still focused on getting the posture right. There's a lot involved, a lot of dynamics involved in getting the posture right. The internal dynamics, which I teach in my classes. To get that right, it takes a lot of care and attention. Right, and when we do, say, for example, just lower dantian, we just put the hands on the lower dantian, my less dominant hand down first, my more dominant hand on top. That's the way I do it, yin and yang, okay, yin down first, yang on top, lower dantian here. And then when we focus on lower dantian breathing, as I said, there's many different styles of breathing that I teach. Some of them are inhalations, exhalations, some include breath holds. We can focus on different parts of the body. But I always train people to get their mind into the lower dantian first, because, you know, we do take the mind to the middle dantian and, you know, specific points are along the meridian that goes all the way up the back of the spine, the Dumai meridian, specific points that go down the front of the torso here. Again, the center, the Renmai meridian. So there's specific points, acupuncture points, where you will take your mind to, for example, with certain techniques like a microcosmic orbit. Okay, but the point I'm trying to get to here is like you know, some people say just visualize it. That's not what I'm talking about. You're not visualizing Qi. That don't get Qi moving. You first need to connect with Qi in stillness, like in static postures, right? I mean, just focusing on your breath is one technique, right? It's a very basic technique, but, you know, you hold it with a posture, with even your hands and your lower dantian. Then your mind can focus on that, right? So I like Qi-Gong because, you know, I still do seated meditations, laying down meditations and stuff. But, you know, there are certain exercises in the Qi-Gong that I teach which are sitting down, like especially a lot of the internal alchemy stuff, which takes more time. Okay, so we spend a lot more time with deep meditation techniques internally inside the body. But first thing you have to do is get the mind inside the body, right? And this is what a lot of people don't get, right? You have to train the mind in a specific way to get inside the body, because your mind is not used to being inside the body. This is why people's mind wanders when they try to meditate. Their mind is not used to finding stillness inside the body. And usually what people try to do when they meditate, what do? They go straight here. They go into the upper dantian. Okay, you've got lower dantian, middle dantian, upper dantian, 3 main energy centers in Qigong. Their mind and their attention goes into the upper dantian. This is where all the energy is. That feeds all your imagination, your thoughts and your ideas and everything. Now, if you want to get away from your thoughts, you don't want to put your mind here. That's what most people do, and that's why they struggle. Okay, now a lot of people made the connection with, okay, let's get into the heart instead. That's the next best place, yes. And we do heart-based meditation and getting into the middle dantian. It will be saved. It will be on my page, by the way. Thank you very much for those of you that just asked for recording. So it will be on there. Okay, now middle dantian, this is related to dealing with your emotions, emotional energy. And we deal with transforming and alchemizing emotional energy, right? A lot of it is emotional release. Learn how to release emotional energy, pent up energy. And a lot of that is actually done by, you know, getting the channels open with certain stretching techniques that, you know, yoga techniques I do as well, you know, like the yoga asanas, you know, just postures as well, you know, cat, cow, child pose, those things that help open up your spine, help and open up your channels as well. Qigong, there's a few stretches and exercises that I do, slapping, tapping. Just slapping and tapping every morning when you wake up will open up your channels and it gets your blood flowing. I start every day like this. I start every Qigong class with slapping and tapping, just slapping and tapping all over your head, your face, everywhere, get everywhere. Even that, when you start that, do it with a quality of mind. Don't think of it as, oh, it's just preparation, because, you know, for what I teach, Qigong is a preparation technique, slapping, tapping, you know, loosening up the muscles and stretching. It's preparation. But how you go into preparation is important as well, because it's the state of mind that we're trying to cultivate here. Okay, and this is where we talk about Shen, spirit, right? I like to think of, you know, the upper dantian is what is our connection to Shen, spirit, right? But now, what people get confused with in Qigong is most of the work is in the lower dantian, right? Because this here transforms with controlling this, okay? Not by focusing on it, by controlling it. You don't have to have your mind here in your head to control your mind. Your mind is much more than the cauliflower-shaped organ in your brain, in your head, right? Much more. Your mind is way more, right? You know, Hermetic principle number 1, all is mind. You know, the all is mind. So God is mind. Now, your mind can create or destroy your reality. It can create or destroy you, internally and externally. That's how powerful it is. So when we go into like preparation, when we start slapping tap, I'm saying get your mind into each slap, each tap. Really get your mind into it. Now, if your demons start popping up, you know, people get impatient with practices. And this is why we do Qigong, because one of the things you're going to have to really master in your life is impatience. One of the things that, Qigong, meditation, anything that really requires you to focus on doing really like not a lot, okay? Not really a lot of activity, but not doing a lot. It requires a lot of focus. And this is where we say in Qigong, put your yi to the qi. Put your yi to the qi. Okay? We say it all the time. Everyone says this, right? Energy goes where the mind goes, right? Okay? So where your mind goes, energy goes. Where your mind goes, energy goes. So a lot of people try to get into cultivating energy in all these funky ways, right? Okay? And I teach cultivation of qi in Qigong, right? But a lot of people forget we're cultivating mind as well. We're trying to cultivate a right state of mind. And only with that right state of mind will the quality qi build. The quality of mind will define the quality of energy you hold. Right? So if I stand here, someone can stand in this position and do some breathing. And just like if they're shit at meditation and their mind's wandering, thinking about, okay, what am I going to get when I finish this, and all the tasks they got to do once they finish their Qigong, or think about everything else apart from the practice, right? Their mind's wandering, right? Then one of the things about Qigong, it's easier because, you've got something to do, There's movements involved in some of the exercises, right? It becomes a mindfulness practice. It keeps the mind under control. And because you're consciously practicing, keeping the mind and your energy under control, I recommend everybody does at least 10-15 minutes of Qigong every day. Okay? Because, ideally first thing in the morning when you start, you got your mind and your energy under control. You start your day like that, you set yourself up right. How you start your day makes a big difference. So this is why I always say, for me personally, getting your mornings right is big thing, right? When I was suffering with depression, one of the things that I used to struggle with mornings, right? What I got used to doing is getting my fucking ass up and just walking. Just walking. That was it. Because you get your energy flowing, you get moving, you get out of your mind, right? You want to get your mind, you want to train your mind to get away from here. Get it in here, get it in the body. The qi is flowing all throughout your body, right? And when we cultivate qi, and enough qi, it transforms our jing, our essence, our physical essence. Then that qi transforms our shen, our spirit, right? This is why we get that enhancement of consciousness, expanded consciousness, higher consciousness. I like to think of it both, okay, because it goes all directions, not just up, outwards this way too, right? So expanded consciousness, higher consciousness is a result of doing the work, keeping your mind under control. It's not about the fancy movements and the techniques. Sometimes people see me doing moving meditation, qi balls, and all sorts of. The movement actually isn't the important part. That is the qi mobilizing you. When you have qi, it can move you. When you don't have qi, it's just you moving your body. It's not the same thing, right? So anybody can just move their arms around. That's not what we're talking about, right? In Qigong, we have to focus a lot on cultivating a right state of mind, right quality of qi, really, and do a lot of, what I would say, drill in some conscious movements first, right? So, this is what B1 we do in Commotion Qigong. One hand on the lower dantian, my yin hand, my less dominant hand, and one hand on the middle dantian, my yang hand, which is my right hand. And then just, you can do this static, just connecting with the energy center. Best thing to do for anybody that's new to Qigong is just focus on the lower dantian, and just do some deep abdominal breathing and really focus on building energy up here, right? This is like a backup energy generator. When the qi is built up here, it can go everywhere. It can feed this emotional center, this upper dantian. It naturally is anyway, right? But what we're getting here is additional qi, okay? Now, you're going to get qi from food, drink, everything else, right? What we're getting here is cultivating additional qi, and sometimes people can't understand, how do I cultivate qi if I'm not moving? Or, well, think about, this is why it's called, Zhan Zhuang, it's called standing like a tree. Because a tree doesn't have to move in order to get energy, nor does a plant or a flower, right? You know, this is like our soil pot, right? We nourish this, we nourish our Jing, our essence, right? You know, the kidneys are here, you know, in Chinese medicine, the kidneys are here as well, connected to our Ming Men acupuncture point there as well in the back, on the Du Mai meridian. Now that, you know, a lot of the time is a source of vitality for physical health, right? But physical health is one thing. We do need to focus on that. It's very, very important to get that right. But then when we have energy, that energy will inspire us. Okay? So energy is not just dead energy, right? You're talking about the life force energy that creates life. Vital life force energy, Qi. We're not talking about, okay, it's just like, you know, the water in my bottle here, okay? I just drink it and it's gone, okay? And it's just water, okay? You know, even thinking about water, okay, talking about water, okay? We can put intelligence into water, right? There's infoceuticals right now, right? Where they put information in water and they give it to you as medicine. You know, like the work of Dr. Emoto, right? Where sending thoughts and intention into water, right? Changes the structure of the water. Well, we do that to ourselves all the time. We're mostly water, right? So when we put our mind in the body with intention initially, okay, so you go in with intention, at some point that's going to become attention. And you need to understand the difference between intention and attention, because intention is yang and attention is yin. And you need to go from intention to attention. Attention and awareness is what will raise your consciousness, not intention. Attention and awareness. So when we're cultivating mind, always be aware. Your state of awareness is what we're trying to control here. You know, yes, we're doing energy work. Yes, we're working with Qi, but that gives us something to focus on whilst we control what's important here, the mind. You know, it's been said before, the breath and the mind are the king and queen of human consciousness, right? By Leonard Orr. He wrote a book called Breaking the Death Habit. I like to say, well, the mind and Qi, because it's more than just breath, right? The mind and Qi, mind and energy. That's it. That's the king and queen of human consciousness. You master your mind and your energy. Focus on those two. But each work together. You want to cultivate better energy, you're going to need a better mind state. You want to cultivate a better mind state, it's going to require better energy. That's why we work on both in Commotion Qigong, right? If anybody is interested in coming checking out the Commotion Qigong classes, this is why we do the practicals, right? I do a session every Thursday. And it's going to be Tuesday, Thursdays again, okay? So we usually do a beginner session on a Tuesday and an intermediate session on a Thursday. So there's a free trial available. You can check it out on themindofmatter.com. There's a link in my bio. But the best way to learn, you know, obviously take on board what I've taught you today, but it's not necessarily when we're doing this energy work, even when you're doing yoga or any energy work, right? Understand you are trying to cultivate, when you go into that practice for that day, you are trying to cultivate a certain state of mind, right? So always go into your daily practice with, I want to cultivate this kind of state of mind, right? I had this conversation with my kids earlier today, talking about confidence, okay? There isn't a time where I turn up and speak live where I don't feel anxious or nervous. I suffer from anxiety and depression, but I still get on with it, right? How? State of mind. I don't have the right state of mind. Well, get rid of that state of mind, put the right state of mind in place, now I can go. I wake up depressed, change it. I change it. I change my mind, I change my energy, I change the reality. It's that simple. Right? So, but you have to do it. It takes discipline. You know, one of the things I talk about in the class all the time is, you know, turning up on time, you know, being there for the class and then doing the practicals on the daily basis. The reason we have challenges in the commune, the private commune, it's a private commune. It's not just classes, right? It's a private community with, you know, it's a social platform with over 100 hours of previous class recording since April last year. So, you know, there's no, and you got the classes every week. But the thing is, we people coming together to practice, because one of the things you'll find difficult, well, most people struggle with, okay, is practicing alone, okay? especially when it's something new. Okay, discipline sometimes takes joining classes. This is why, you know, people join gym classes. You know, join football clubs. My son's joined a boxing club and a football club. Why did I join karate club, boxing club, Wing Chun, Kung Fu club, Qi-Gong classes? Okay, because it's what builds the discipline. You go there to build discipline as well. So you build a state of mind that becomes disciplined. So we're not, you know, just going to classes is cultivating the right state of mind. Turning up, doing the practice that you're supposed to do, taking the challenges. I do 30-day challenges on the commune, right? You take the challenge, you complete it, you know, you tick it off every day. Keeps people disciplined. Because this is the kind of stuff, because it's not like people don't know that they need to do something. People don't need to really be told what to do. Because actually most people do know what to do. They just don't do it. And that's because of a lack of discipline. You know, and that isn't going to change unless you start getting discipline. And the only way to get discipline is fucking just get it going. Start doing something. You know, that's why I said when I suffer from depression, I just, okay, forget meditation, anything else. Like, just fucking start getting up early. Go for a walk. Right? Like, forget everything else. Like, keep it simple, stupid. You know, you always got to remember where you're at. Okay? You know, and everyone's at a different place. Okay? And sometimes, you know, you've got to, you know, I always like to teach people in a certain way where, you know, they can mold it into their own practice, because I believe as a martial artist and as a music artist, I'm an artist of life. And an artist of life doesn't just cultivate energy for the fuck of it, right? I cultivate energy because it feeds me. My creativity, my inspiration, it feeds my life, right? So I don't just sit there and waste 20 minutes of standing or sitting in a position. That chi and the state of mind I cultivated is valuable. And you actually instantly feel it as well. That's the great thing about Qigong. A lot of the energy work you feel quite quickly. Okay? But, you know, but most important thing I say to everyone is, you know, get something started. But one of the reasons why I want to pop on today and just share this was cultivating mind. Don't forget why you're doing whatever you're doing. Okay, whether you go into meditation or yoga, not necessarily me, someone else, you go to someone else. What are you going there for? What are you trying to do for yourself? Are you trying to master something? What is it? More than likely, you're going to need to master your mind and your energy. Okay, your emotions are included in your energy, so that's why we don't even say that, because your mind and your energy, you deal with that. The emotions are included, right? Much love, everyone. This will be posted on the page. Watch it back if you missed it. Take care.